Hey, and welcome back to your second free video here. Today we're going to be talking about how to attract women in your workplace. This can be a very sensitive subject. Now, there are two things you got to keep in mind. You never get sexual at the workplace, ever. And the second thing is that when you cross this boundary, you create a whole world of complications at work. Now, typically speaking, I would say the best way to attract women at your workplace is to not do it at your workplace. I would say that if you know for sure that you're not going to be crossing over any boundaries, and I think that most of the time guys don't know that for sure. They're kind of risking their jobs and they want to do this secretly. And not only that, but not just your perspective, but also from her perspective as well. If she's there, she's going to be thinking she's risking her job as well, and you know, it gets really complicated. So the way to sort of move forward, though, if you do want to do this and you did make a decision to risk it and move forward, or I don't know what kind of job wouldn't mind that you dated people at your workplace, but if you do decide to do it either way, then there are a few ways of going about this. One is that the initial interaction up until the point where you basically hook up with them is a long sort of patient man's game, and then once you get past that, it's actually can be very exhilarating and a lot of fun just to sort of keep them guessing while you are at work and keep them sort of heightened. So it can be a really fun sort of interaction and fun relationship if you don't have to keep it secret. If you do, then it can be kind of annoying, and I don't really condone that, to be honest, because I believe that you should be completely open and unapologetically who you are and unapologetically a man. So, but if you do decide to, I'll just move forward with that. I just want to throw that disclaimer in there. I'll tell you how to do that. So, let's imagine that you are in a work environment where everything's very straight-laced. You know, you have a few outings that are, that are work-related, but they're social gatherings. Like, say, you have a work party or whatever. Everyone meets up from work somewhere else, and you sort of have this sort of connection in a social environment. Let's just say that was what happened, and you meet this girl and she's new there, or maybe you're new, or maybe you just realize that she's attractive, or maybe she just recently got divorced or broke up with someone or whatever, and now they're available. So for whatever reason, all of a sudden you are attracted to them and you want to push forward with them. Now, the interesting thing about this situation is that you're going to be mixing together two stages of an interaction, and you're going to be using these two stages in conjunction with each other to push forward with both of them at the same time. Now, this is really complicated sometimes, and it's not normal, so I wouldn't say normally do this. And those two stages are attraction, the attraction stage, and the rapport stage. Like I said before, you're not going to be building the sexual stage at all at work, or even outside of work with someone until you know that you've built this sort of attraction. And because there's sexual harassment, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. But you can't get in trouble for attraction building or rapport building, as long as you're not thinking about sex or anything like that while you're at work with this person while you're talking. Then you should be fine. Most women can sort of read your mind, so to speak, and I really believe that. Not that they can read everything that you're thinking, but they can look at your face and they can usually tell what you're thinking. So we think that we're hiding it, but we're just not hiding it. That's the truth. The truth is that, if you think about something sexual, it comes across in your face. In fact, one of the most powerful sexual techniques to get someone else to feel sexually attracted to you is to think about something sexual when you're talking to them. And what that does is it gives off a vibe, so to speak. It's a lot more complicated than that. It's actually psychologically proven. But it gives off some kind of a vibe, as far as you know. That's all you need to know, at least. That you are sexually attracted to them. So you want to make sure you control your mind while you're at work, and you just stay lighthearted. Your goal is to banter a lot. Banter, nothing should be really serious unless it has to be. If it's someone who works for you, again, I don't condone hooking up with someone who works for you, but if it is someone who works for you, then you still need to, in certain situations, whenever you get the opportunity, you need to banter, joke, be lighthearted, be fun, don't be serious. Do this a lot. You don't want to build too many serious things while you're at work. Now, whenever you leave work and you get to a social environment, you want to do sort of a combination of building bantering and laughing and building what's called building attraction, and building rapport or making a connection. You want to do both of them sort of at the same time. You want to go back and forth between the two so that you don't build too much rapport too early so that you feel like it's a co-working relationship, and you don't build too much attraction first where it feels like this is obviously going down the path of a sexual relationship. So you want to instead build up a combination of the two, sort of the workplace attraction game. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go from being joking and a lot of fun and like being silly to almost drastically shifting over to, so where are you from? And really having deep conversation, and then bouncing back to joking and being silly and having a lot of fun, and then bouncing back again to being serious and having like a real in-depth conversation. So you want to go back and forth, maybe 5 or 6 times total. Like, and I mean, one time is going from attraction to rapport, and then rapport back to attraction. That's 1. So cycle through that about 6 times or so, and after that you should be able to go through the process 1 full time of building attraction, of being lighthearted and fun and being silly, then moving into rapport where you're making a deep connection, then building sexual tension and sexual attraction. And if you want to consummate that and actually hook up with her, that's when you do that. And it would have to be away from everyone else at work, because people who are at work are going to be watching, and they're probably not going to want to see. You don't want to create that problem for her where she's like having to choose between her job and hooking up with you, because it can make things really difficult, and it's not fair to her for you to sort of drag her through that. So instead, you're going to be sort of connecting in this bouncing back and forth kind of way, which I wouldn't normally say that you should do. And then you're going to go through it once slowly and pay attention and make sure that you are really taking your time in each of those stages. In the attraction stage, building that up, making sure you start to touch at that point, and being socially touching, and then going into the rapport stage where you're touching in a really intimate kind of way, more of like a really close friend would touch, sort of like hand on the shoulder or whatever. Also, that you can start to segment and sort of go into this sort of sexual touch a little bit while you're doing that, where you're touching her hands and intimate things you might do with a girlfriend. And then after that, build up that seduction. And tomorrow we're gonna go over. I'm gonna shoot another video going over seduction and sort of explaining what it truly is, and you can check that out then. So after it all happens, let's say that you meet this girl, you go out to a social environment, you bounce back and forth a bunch, you do sort of the workplace game, so to speak, and then you go through the whole system, the attraction system, the rapport system, you break away when things start to get really intimate, and you go away from everybody else, and you have your own space, you continue there, and then you build up the sexual attraction, and you hook up with them. So now you have to go back to work. Right? Now here's the biggest mistake that guys make. They try to go back to work and they try to jump right back into that sexual tension. You cannot do that at work. Don't do it. Sort of the idea that they have to see you, be attracted to you, but they can't touch you or treat you differently is very, very intriguing to a woman. In fact, it can increase sexual desire massively as long as you withhold and you sort of give her, every once in a while you want to give her a secret look when no one else is looking. You want to give her a secret look or wink at her or something, really, really subtly. And double entendres or something or innuendo are also very, very fun in that sort of situation. So you want to make sure that you use that as much as you possibly can, but don't cross the line while you're at work. And don't make plans while you're at work to hook up or hang out. Make sure that you make all those plans outside of work. If you have a work phone, don't use it to text back and forth, because they will look at that later. And you'll get them in trouble, and you'll get in trouble. Don't use work email to communicate over stuff like this. Use separate stuff, totally personal, and then meet them up afterwards, and you'll have a crazy, fun, like really, really fun sexual experience with your woman at your workplace if you can do it this way. And if you guys do decide to really become serious, you may want to consider either breaking that news to the people at your work, which you will have to do. Either one of you should leave, or both of you should leave, or you have to break it to people at work and they have to be comfortable with it. So go through that process, Do the things that I said. It will work. Trust me. Try it out. And I think that you'll find that's very fun. If you do decide to move forward with it, then do what I said and do it my way that I just taught you, because you have a better chance of getting out of this smelling like roses. If you don't want to move forward with it and you want to wait till later, great, because I actually think that's probably the best idea. I think that if you really study on how to attract women, then you don't feel like your only options are the women who you meet at work. You have other options, and you should go for those other women. But if it's this woman's special and you just only have eyes for her, and it's really something different about her, then and you're willing to risk your job to go for it, then go for it, man. Just know that you're risking your job and hers for this to happen. So you have to be very, very careful and take full responsibility. So that's it. Stay tuned for tomorrow, and I'm going to go into seduction explained then. And comment below and let me know what you think. If you try it out and it works, let me know. I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to see your comments below, and I'll respond back as soon as I can. Talk to you soon.